Okay, so please excuse the state of my nails, and yeah, so I do nails. I usually don't do my own anymore though because they always get ruined. So we are going to be using, our liquid is a secret liquid monomer, and our acrylic is Mia Secret clear acrylic powder. And most importantly, let me see, what does it say? Let me just show you guys something. The most important thing is, you see that there? No MMA. That's what you want to see on your liquids. So moving forward, liquid to powder ratio. So you see me kind of getting all like the air bubbles and everything out of here. Now usually I'll clean out my dish if it's from like a prior set or whatever, especially like if there's glitters in the bottom, anything like that. But since we are literally practicing, and it's really not that, my liquid is really not dirty that much, it's just a couple glitters in there, I'm just gonna go right on ahead and start using our clear acrylic and this beautiful glitter right here, and this one that I just literally made just a few moments ago. So I haven't exactly named this yet. I'm thinking about Periwinkle Twinkle. And these are actually my pearlescent stackers, and I will be getting in more of this soon. So if any of you ladies are interested in purchasing any of these glitters, definitely let me know, and I'll have them available shortly. So liquid to powder ratio, okay? So we're gonna be doing glitter encapsulation. So we're just gonna start off before the liquid to powder ratio. I'm gonna make sure that my brush is saturated, right? Because we're picking up glitter, so we want to make sure that we're picking up a small really wet bead. You see that? And then you pick up glitter. Okay, so you want to just kind of place it on the nail like so, and kind of spread this stuff around. You know, you don't want it to be too bulky, so you want to make sure that your brush is, you know, you want to clean it in between, dip back in your acrylic if you have to, and then just kind of keep working that bead of glitter and acrylic. And if you have to go in and get more, obviously you can do that, and cleaning your brush in between each and every pickup. That way you're not caking acrylic each time, you know. And you go into your acrylic really wet, pick up another small tiny wet bead like so, and start working that up and around the nail again. And this is my pearlescent multi-mix series with the diamonds, with the pearlescent 2mm diamonds. Now I will have these mixes available with just the hexes as well. So me and my sister will have those available. If you are not subscribed to her, her channel is Odd Wolf. I will leave the link in my description box below. Definitely check her out. She is an amazing vlogger and super supportive to my channel. So I love my sis. So I'm gonna dip into this glitter mix now that I made, because you can do whatever glitters on the nail that you want. It doesn't have to be just one kind. So I'm gonna actually like ombre these glitters. Pick up a little more glitter because I didn't really get enough with that wet bead. I'm kind of just pushing it out side to side, and then I'll kind of pull down my sides and the center. If you want to pick up a little bit more glitter with your wet brush and kind of just stick it to that thin clear layer you have, you can, and just blend that down. Now you don't want to overplay with the top of the acrylic bead, because then you start to actually lose your shape. And it took me a long time to fully understand and get that myself. So if you ladies have any questions or comments, suggestions, any videos you'd like to maybe see, maybe you want to do like a collab, definitely let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you guys. So you see how I pulled that, like patted it out side to side, and now I'm cleaning my brush as I go, cleaning the side walls and just pulling the bottom of that bead down. So, and you want to make sure that you're holding your client's nail on a downward angle as much as you possibly can. So I'm picking up another tiny, really wet bead and going right into my glitter. Now, if you already have your glitter pre-mixed with acrylic, then usually you don't have to worry about like what I'm doing. You still want to make sure that your brush is saturated, because even if especially if it's a chunky glitter like these, you know. So, and then, you know, I'll add a little bit more of that pink pearlescent one at that top there. And like I said, you could literally do whatever you want with your glitters. I mean, literally sky is the limit. So I just go in with another small wet bead, pushing it up, having my brush on a 45-degree angle, and kind of just making my way downtown, walking fast, passing this acrylic on the way by. See what I mean? And I don't really play with the top of that too much. Just patting it out side to side. Because then when you come in and encapsulate it, if you are like playing too much with the top part, you just kind of want to push it out and round those sidewall corners ever so thinly and slightly. Because the bulk of your product and acrylic should be coming down the center, because that's where your strength is, right? Not your sidewalls, not the cuticle area, but mostly this strength point here where the free edge meets the nail bed. That's really where your strength, most of it should be. So I'm just adding a little bit more of that blue in the center, just kind of make that stand out a little bit more. And if you're going in with small, tiny, wet beads, stuff like this you could do, because your product is not so built up that it's so thick you can't add anything else. You know what I mean? So if you're working the way you're supposed to be when you're encapsulating, and you're only adding a little bit at a time, then you're able to do things like this, where you can go back in and touch up those small areas that you have to touch up. Now you see that? Now I'm gonna turn my nail to the side in a second and just show you what I mean by the thinness and, you know, bulkiness and such. And if you need to add a little bit more here while it's still a little damp, you can certainly do that. See that? And I don't have to pick up any more acrylic to do that, because, you know, it's still sticky right there and wet. So that's all I have to do, literally. You know, and if it's dry already, you can wet your brush. Sometimes you could get away with just wetting your brush and sticking it to the acrylic. You know what I mean? So look at this from the side. Right? See how thin that is? So we're going to go in with our encapsulation beads now. Okay? So I'm going to show you what I'm doing on the side of my dish. If you want like a big bead, right? You want to try and keep as much liquid as you can. So you go to the bottom, like literally the toe of the brush, and you dab it on the side like that. If you want like a medium to wet bead, you would dab it in the center of the brush, right? If you want most of your liquid in a drier bead, you would dab it here at the base, like there at the base, like right where the metal meets here. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and get like I like to do 1 beads. So I'll do 3 bead method in another video, but since I like to do my encapsulations in a 1 bead method, if I can, I'm going to dab my brush just ever so slightly. See that? And I'm going to pick up a really big bead, kind of just dab my brush in there, make sure it's damp, right? Place it. Let it do its thing, holding this at a downward angle. If you have to bring in your sides a little bit, you can. And you see how that's kind of just like doing its own thing. It's just coming down the nail. All I have to do is guide it. Like, you shouldn't have to like chase your product all over the nail. And maybe this was a little bit too wet that I picked up, but even still, see how I'm able to control that all the way down the nail. So this is actually going to end up being a 2 bead, because I'm going to add another cuticle bead up there. But you see what I mean? If you're holding that at a downward angle, your bead is going to naturally, your acrylic is going to naturally do what it's supposed to do. And without having to play too much with that top part, like I said. So I'm just making sure now that I'm wetting my brush, and I'm going down those side walls and making sure that they're, you know, taken in and tapered and not big and bulky, blocky on the sides, you know, because you don't want that. You just want to make sure that, see, that they're encapsulated, and you'll know your glitter is encapsulated because you see how it looks matte now. And at the top part where there's stuff still not encapsulated, you could actually like see the color and the shininess a little still. So obviously we still need a small to medium bead. So I'm going to pick up a small to medium bead by dabbing the center of my brush. And you see that? And I'm just going to place it, pull in my sides, wipe my brush, wet it a little bit one more time, and kind of just make sure that the product is pushed up into place and my side walls are pulled down. Working my way to the center. You see? You constantly got your brush on a, or your nail, your client's nail on a downward angle, or your practice hand, whatever it may be. I'll add a tiny bit more up here just to get my strength. Pat it out to each side. Now, when you turn your client's hand to the side, right, you should have like that effect going on where it's like it dips in the back, comes up ever so slightly, and then back straight out, see? And you have to look down the barrel of every angle you possibly can, you should be doing. If you have to kind of brush this back up a little bit, that's fine too. You will get used to bead placement and liquid to powder ratio over time. Acrylic is one of those things that you definitely don't get overnight. You know what I mean? You see that? Ever so slightly. And when you come in and you file that, you're going to come in and around. So that's all going to be tapered more anyway. So you want the body of the nail to look like this. And see that? How it's matte? It's all matte now? That's how you know you've done a really good job at encapsulating your glitter. So I'm gonna really quick file this and buff it, and I will be back to top coat. Okay, so the way you know if your product is dry and set, you'll be able to hear this. You hear that clicking? And it'll be setting too, because you'll feel the heat, so you'll know it's setting just by feeling that as well. So when you're filing, you just want to be super careful. You also want to be trained in this, obviously. Not everybody should be using an electric drill, especially the ones that are using the sand bands on their clients' natural nails. I still can never get over that, and how people think that that's okay to be teaching other people, but that's neither here nor there for another video. So we're gonna go up our sides. This is my fine grit carbide bit. It's a Volcano bit, and I'll leave the link for this in the description. So you actually just kind of go up the sides a little bit, just kind of keeping with that shape. You don't have to do this because you can do it with your hand file. So if you are comfortable enough, just kind of slightly, if you want to get like that acrylic off the sides there. See what I mean? Just like that, kind of work your client's nail kind of underneath a little bit, have them turn their hand over and just get those pieces off the edges there. So then you're going to come in around, gently around the cuticle. This is a safety Volcano bit, so you don't have to do much with this part. Like I said, you're just literally kind of just coming in and shaping that cuticle area a little bit more than it already was. So get that little piece off there. Yeah, you don't have to do much. So I'm just turning that to the side so you can see what I'm doing. But You don't have to do a lot because you don't want to cut through to your glitter. You want to make sure that you keep enough product on there so that your glitter is not getting unencapsulated and just kind of come down the barrel of the nail. You don't have to do a lot when you lay your acrylic just right. You know, you should not have to do a ton of filing. If you're laying your product appropriately and not too thick in places it shouldn't be thicker, you should be fine. So I'm just kind of taking off a little bit of that free edge area. I think I just added a little bit too much down there. So that's why I'm turning to the side so you can see. Just kind of flattening that out, making it even with the rest of my nail. Okay, and I will come in to perfect this even more with my hand file, which is what it's for. You also want to be using your hand files to remove the shine on your nail plate. That's what it's for. Okay, just making sure that that's nice and filed back there. You see that, guys? So now you could go in with your hand file and buffer. So that's what we're gonna do. And I'm actually using my Sunshine 100-180 washable disinfectable sponge buffer and a 100-100 grit hand file. So I'm going to go down the sides of my nails, right, at a 45-degree angle, because this is a stiletto. You want to make sure that when you're doing certain shapes that you're holding your file appropriately, the way it should be. And you want to be blocking, like if this is an actual person's hand, you want to have your thumb right here, so you're not like cutting their skin on the sides or anything like that. And accidents happen all the time, obviously. You want to be anchoring your hands, holding your client's finger, right? So you see how I'm getting those sides like that, crisp, nice and crisp on the sides. So you're making sure that those side walls are continuing to keep their shape by coming in with your hand file and not just your electric file, and not just leaving it with the acrylic the way it is, because you tend to lose a little bit of your shape when you come in and encapsulate and do your design and everything. And yes, most of the shape is done with your brush, but this just helps sharpen things up, guys. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, I've been doing nails for over 5 years now, and I still take several hours to do my clients' nails. So do not get down on yourself. So I'm just gonna come in and around that nail, the body of the nail. Okay, so you want to be holding your brush, or your hand file like this. It's just more comfortable. And as you're kind of coming around the center, you could then switch like this and come around the other side, and it's just easier that way. That way you're actually getting the body of the nail the appropriate shape. You see what I'm saying? You come down this side, you come over the center, flip it around, come down that side, go back, right, come to the center, and come to the other side, right? And so you're always getting that curve, that natural curve that your hand, the motion that your hand is doing naturally. As long as you're holding your hand file right and appropriately, you're always gonna have that nice shape. You see that? Now, always looking down the barrel of your nail. If you have to, you can come in, back in, and tidy it up a little more. So if you're new to this, do not get down on yourself. You will get these things in time. It takes a lot of practice. You see that? See that shape, guys? It takes a lot of practice and a lot of hard work. But like I always say, anything worth having in life and achieving is not going to be easy to do or obtain. You're going to have to work really hard at achieving your goals. But it's so worth it in the end. I mean, check that out, guys. In the beginning of my nail career, I couldn't do this to save my life. Now check me out. I'm going to file this. And it's because of women here on YouTube doing their videos that I was able to teach myself how to do nails. So thank you to all the women that I was subscribed to early on, that I still am subscribed to all these years later. I always subscribe back to all my subbies. So please, if you're new here and you can share this, I would so much appreciate that, guys. So I'm just gonna dust this off now, okay? And I'm gonna top coat it, and I'm using D&D no wipe top coat. You don't have to use a no wipe. I personally just prefer it because as soon as my clients come out of the lamp, they're done. You see what I mean? And I got a 6-pack of these on eBay. Look at that. That is just like orgasmic. Check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that awesome? Look at that. And I used to use Bio Seaweed no wipe top coat, and I actually like D&D's no wipe a lot better. The consistency, I would say, is about the same as far as viscosity goes, but as far as shine goes, by far this is one of the best top coats I've used. And I've used IBD, I've used Bio Seaweed, I've used Gel 2. Now Gel 2 is kind of probably even with this because I love Gel 2. Chiara Sky, I'm not so sure, but this one by far, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. And you got that natural shape going on, guys. Isn't that beautiful? To die for. I mean, and then there's so much possibilities. So if you are new here and have not yet subscribed, ladies and gentlemen, please do so. You will not regret it. I promise you. I have nothing but great things in store for this channel coming up. And stay tuned because I will be having that the foil video coming up as well, and lots of goodies in store for you guys. So I can't wait to share a lot of these other things with you guys. I'm just so excited for everything I have in store for you all. And then the 1,000 subby giveaway, I'm just so stoked for everything. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm just gonna dry this and show you guys how it looks when it's done. Okay, so as you can see, this is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. Look at the side view. I just love this, and it only took 60 seconds in the lamp. It's completely dry. It's not sticky at all. I was having nothing but issues with my Bio Seaweed. I don't know why, but I actually used my Sun H4 Plus 72 watt UV/LED lamp. In the UV lamp, you're going to want to use it for 2 minutes with a hybrid or an LED, obviously 60 seconds, depending on the gel, obviously. If you're doing a layer and you're flash curing, I would say 10 or 30 seconds tops. If you're doing foils, I would say probably 30 seconds, even 10 seconds, depending on the product you're using. With that being said, I'm going to let you guys go, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Check you in my next one. Bye!